Hi, music fans, and welcome to another one of my videos. And today I just want to pay tribute to Douglas Anthony Thompson, better known to all us Cliff fans as Tony Rivers. And Tony Rivers was a big part of Cliff's band from about 1976 to around 1985 when Cliff went into the musical Time. Um, when he finished Time, he came out and he got a brand new band. That's basically what happened. And Tony wasn't included in that new band. But from 76 to 85, a lot of Cliff fans would swear that this was Cliff's best decade out of all his career. And yeah, I would certainly agree, um, especially from 1976's I'm Nearly Famous album, which was, as I said in my last review, that was groundbreaking for Cliff. Introduced him to a brand new audience, and it led the way for the rest of his career. And that came with help from Bruce Welch, who produced the album, but also people like Tony Rivers, who provided the backing vocal. He provided all them backing vocals on Mission Nights and I Wish You Change Your Mind and Devil Woman and so many, and continued to do so up until 1985. So I want to pay big tribute to him. He started off in a band called Harmony Grass, which was basically a British version of the Beach Boys. Tony was a Beach Boys fanatic. And yeah, there's some absolutely fantastic material that he recorded around this time. You can find it on YouTube or you can find it on Spotify, and I'm sure there's other places you can get it. Or even better, go out and get the CDs. But yeah, it's a lot of Beach Boys sounding songs, which I absolutely love. But he kind of went into doing backing vocals later on and arranging vocals for people like Roger Daltrey, Steve Hardy, Shakin' Stevens, and of course Cliff. And yeah, so absolutely fantastic career he's had, and he's a great loss to music. And I will say, on the podcast, which I mentioned a few times here, We Say Yeah by David Ghostly Wills, there's a review of I'm Nearly Famous, but right after that review is an interview with Tony's son, Anthony Thompson. And it's absolutely fantastic. I listened to it twice. He's so proud of his dad's legacy, and he talks so passionately about some of the highlights of the career, like meeting the Beach Boys and playing with Cliff and playing with Shaky, and yeah, absolutely fantastic. If I was to pick out a few Cliff songs that he played on that I just absolutely love, I probably mentioned a couple of them already. I Wish You Change Your Mind is one of my favourite Cliff songs of all time, and a lot of that's thanks to Tony's backing vocals. Mission Nights, as I said before. When I Survey the Wanderer's Cross on the Small Corners is pretty much an a cappella song, and all them vocals were by Tony Rivers. Absolutely fantastic version on the Small Corners album. Another song which I spoke to Tony, I never met Tony, but I did speak to him through Facebook on Messenger. And we were talking about songs and all. And he told me one time that one of his favourite tracks was from the Green Light album, and it's called Under Lock and Key. And I've loved that song. I loved that song before then, but I loved that. I listened to it a lot more after Tony told me that, and I kept on listening to it. And it's become one of my favourites. Under Lock and Keys. Cliff has never recorded anything like that or anything since that. So absolutely fantastic. I'm sure he was responsible for the reunion concert in '78. I'm sure he's responsible for closing the concert and the album with Dennis Wilson of the Beach Boys song. Ended the show, written by Dennis Wilson, and I'm pretty sure that was probably due to Tony Rivers' influence and his big love for the Beach Boys. But I want to just pay tribute to Tony. He's such fantastic vocalist and lead vocalist. He wrote a couple of songs for Shaky as well. I remember I had a single, one of the first singles I ever bought actually, was a song called Feel the Need in Me, which was a cover. But on the B side, I can't even remember what it was called, but it was written by Tony. And I probably played that as much as I played the other one, not knowing that was a Tony Rivers song. Um, but yeah, he wrote that one as well. And beautiful. Um, he actually performed with George Michael and Elton John on Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me at Live Aid in 1985. Now, that's unreal. He actually performed in Wembley again with Cliff as part of the Old Boy set. By then, Cliff has already got a new backing vocal group, but Tony was invited and Anthony as well. And it's great to see them singing. Cliff actually gets up and does backing vocals when the Kalen twins, and I love that little clip. Cliff and Tony singing together, backing vocals for the Caden twins. So yeah, he's such a great loss. I've been listening to some of his solo stuff since he died in March. March 30th, he died this year. I've been listening to a lot of his solo stuff, which I'd never done before, and found some of it so beautiful. And Anthony actually says this, but and I didn't know this until I heard that podcast, that when the Beach Boys recorded Pet Sounds, Tony was invited with a load of other musicians to hear the album with the Beach Boys in the record company, and they played the album, and Tony was sitting next to Bruce Johnson, and he actually said he loves the song God Only Knows. And afterwards he said, well, do you want to record it? Because in America we can't record it because we can't release a song that mentions God. Like, it's a God-fearing country. We can't. It might upset too many people. So Tony went ahead and he recorded it. So Tony Rivers was the first ever person to record God Only Knows, the classic Beach Boys song, which Paul McCartney has said is one of his favourite songs of all time. I agree. I absolutely love that song. I love the Pet Sounds album. It's just absolutely amazing. As I say, listen to the podcast with Ghostly Wills and Anthony Thompson, Tony's son, and you'll get some absolutely amazing stories of the Beach Boys and Cliff and Elton and Shaky, and just a look at Tony Rivers. I mean, he could say, well, from my video, it's only as a fan. So as a fan, I want to say we're going to miss Tony so much. He was always a big contributor to Facebook. I love watching his videos. He used to do live videos from Spain, and I love seeing him doing Cliff covers. He did Move It, he did Devil Woman, he did his own arrangements of all these classic songs that he actually performed with Cliff at one time. So rest in peace, Tony. I'm sure you're up there harmonising. Some of the band are up there as well. Graham Jarvis is up there. A couple of the others as well. God bless you, and best wishes to his son and his family. Best wishes. R.I.P. Tony Rivers.